Y'all see that breaking shit? Breakdancing? Breaking. So many thoughts that have already been expressed, but glaringly no black people, or actually the one black person was quickly eliminated under suspicion that she should not have been eliminated. But can we talk about how there were no monoracial black people in the judge, in the commentator, in the performances, or the imitation? It was actually really disgusting to see. It just felt like a minstrel show. Blackness was everywhere, but no black people were there. This little Nika, let's be real. It was felt like someone was popping my forehead with their finger as a black person over and over and over again. I just had to sit there and take it. It's abuse, is what it is. When you take my culture, and I'm not around, it feels like you're wearing pelts, dripping pelts of black people, still warm and wet from you having killed us and stole our culture, and you walk around like it's a fucking minstrel show. It's just a continuation of white culture's right. They feel like they have a right to blackness. This little bitch had a fucking do-rag on. I'm sitting there with my black daughter and non-black members of my family, and I'm the kind of person, I don't give a fuck who's in the room, I don't give a fuck if your white feelings get hurt. I'm going to preserve and center blackness, especially when blackness is being harmed. So I explained to my daughter that what she was wearing was not a head wrap, it's a do-rag. Actually, it's a wave cap, even more specifically, because wave caps are made for Afro people to tweak our Afro hair to lay down to be acceptable to whiteness. You see how that works, how she doesn't need to be acceptable to whiteness, she already is. And this deviation from whiteness is probably because she felt rejected by her community in some kind of way and needs to then go and dominate a community who has less access to autonomy. And her winning was an insult to breakdancing because there were far better performances. And the other thing is the elements. I couldn't remember the elements of breakdancing. But one key element is that you don't repeat. You know, where that is prevalent, and it's prevalent in the black community. That's my cat. We go on walks together. And she is talking a lot because I'm talking a lot. When I was explaining to my child a specific cultural aspect to Black Americanness is innovation. And part of that innovation comes from we had to constantly switch up what we were doing to stay safe from white people. We have to switch up the way that we spoke, the way we talk, the way we dress, so that we can feel safe amongst our peoples, because whiteness always infiltrates using our language, and then we can't tell who's a safe person, who's not, so then we switch up. We switch our language, we switch our clothing, and that's, you can see that in jazz and with vamping, and how when you're battling, which is another important aspect of black culture that white people don't do, when we battle, we're actually creating innovation because we're not repeating. If you're repeating, then that's whack, or whatever term we use in our regional areas. Because there's jonesing, there's clowning, there's capping, don't do me, all that comes from blackness. Because if you're in the middle and you're capping on each other, if you repeat the joke that you just repeated, then you're out, which is a key element to the breakdancing rules at the Olympics, is that when you repeat. When you're in a jazz, when you're riffing with your jazz buddies and playing music, if you're not innovating in the moment, then you're out, right? If you're breakdancing, if you're breaking, if you're doing ballroom and you're repeating what you're repeating, you're not innovating. You're not riding that beat. You're trying to catch the beat, but you're not on top of the beat. And rap and ballroom and breakdancing and jazz and jonesing and singing. You ever been to a group of singers who are vocalizing and doing runs, we're battling, just like you do in breaking. And if you repeat, if you don't innovate, you're out. Where they do that at? They don't do that in whiteness. They don't do that in anywhere but Black Americanness, because it's culture. Again, I've said this before. Aesthetics is the result of culture. It's just the surface. It's the tip of the iceberg of a culture. And when Olympics takes that culture, you have motherfuckers wearing khakis. Khakis. When did khakis become the look of blackness, of Black culture, of breaking? Not one Black woman judge. You had all these people with super tan skin trying to look black as possible, and women trying to look as masculine as possible too. That's the other thing. Like, you don't know why things are the way they are. You're just mimicking and making a mockery of my culture. And fuck you for that.